Elon and JD and others are really disappointed about some of the scandals they're seeing out of the UK. You guys are shooting yourself in the foot right now, I'll tell you that.
Your grouping of tech libertarians, there is a real agenda of like Greenland could be the new world and we could develop a society there. And
I think having a frontier is very healthy. I think Britain was a healthier society when it had a frontier.
Right? Hold on to your hats. Palantir co-founder Joe Lonsdale doesn't hold back in this one.
We can now go over to Austin, Texas, where Joe Lonsdale, a key backer of the returning US president from the tech community and a founder of the Palantir data giant, he's with us. Thanks for joining us, Joe, on Newsnight. Now,
thanks for having me, Faisal.
No, thanks so much. Now, first and foremost, you're born and bred Californian, though you moved to Texas. What's your reaction to what we're seeing out of California?
I mean, this is absolutely terrible and it's infuriating. I have multiple friends and colleagues who lost their childhood homes in the last few days. So this is absolutely terrible. And listen, I mean, it is a little bit awkward for everyone to start engaging in political recommendations right away when something so horrible has happened. I will tell you, I've been listening to the program. The thing I think you guys are missing is that, you know, these forests need to be regularly cleared, and they were, and it was a bipartisan thing to clear them for the last 100 years. In the last 30 years, they changed something called CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act. And 4 different times, moderates tried to pass something saying, guys, let's exempt these forests from CEQA because it's taking years to get approvals to clean them, to clear them out, because you have to do forest management properly. And 4 different times, the radical left would not let us pass laws in California to allow us to exempt it so we can clear it.
Isn't it fascinating how regulatory red tape can create unintended consequences on such a massive scale? Clearing forests to prevent wildfires seems like common sense. Why has it taken so long for decision makers to act on this?
And every time we tried to clear it, there'd be environmental lawsuits that would delay it for years and decades. It's insane. And so you have totally inappropriate forest management based on inappropriate environmental rules, and that more than anything else is what really caused this.
And so basically, Democrat, from your perspective, not wildly surprising as a Republican and a key supporter of President Trump, but it's Democrat mismanagement rather than climate change.
It's mismanagement from the far left. There's a lot of really good, smart, honest, moderate Democrats who are totally in favor of things being sane in California. In California, there's a radical part of the left that's really in charge, unfortunately, of a lot of things and blocks a lot of common sense. And yes, that side that values virtue signaling over competence, right? That side that values not offending people over the truth, that breaks things in the world. It breaks things in Britain, it breaks things in California.
This emphasizes the dangers of governance driven by ideology rather than competence. When common sense measures like forest management are obstructed, the long-term damage extends far beyond the political sphere.
Okay, right. So you're part of this grouping. We're really trying to get from this, we want to get a sense of where your country's going, because Gabriel suggested there, you may have heard in the intro, that there's something quite different about Trump 2.0, I think, as some people are discussing it. And you're a key backer, you're a key backer of the America PAC that Elon Musk set up too. So tell us, the billionaire tech investors like Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, yourself, who've been advocating for President Trump, for example, as part of your agenda, that climate change needs to be downplayed because you need the cheap energy for AI, for example?
No, I actually don't believe that at all. Our agenda is competence, right? So our agenda, I would say we want to embrace things like nuclear fission and potentially in the next 10 years, nuclear fusion as well, and find solutions that do both sides. So I think for our society to move forward and for us to have progress, we need to take the best wisdom from both sides and say, listen, there's good arguments on this side. I mean, America, by the way, per capita output of carbon is down to World War I. So really China and India are the problems. But nevertheless, I'm fine for us to keep being more efficient. But at the same time as we're being more efficient, let's grow the economy. Let's have a growth mindset that embraces both sides. And a lot of these tech people around Trump, a lot of them are on the right. Like I've been on the right my whole life, but a lot of my friends are moderate Democrats have come over because they're sick and tired of incompetence, and they want solutions that benefit everyone.
The emphasis on nuclear energy as a dual solution for economic growth and environmental efficiency offers a compelling path forward. It's a rare example of innovation meeting the needs of both progressives and conservatives.
And what is the wider agenda in terms of the tech billionaires backing Donald Trump? So obviously this is going to be a critical half-decade for the regulation of artificial intelligence, for example.
I think a lot a lot of people were really strongly pro free speech. They were horrified by what they see in the United States and Britain and Europe of the government trying to crack down and tell people not to say things, because it turns out that even if you meant that well, if you crack down on some things, you accidentally hide the truth, and then you accidentally have these giant scandals no one can talk about, and that's a real problem in your country and frankly in our country as well. I think people want to see solutions that allow growth, that allow progress, while not leaving behind a lot of the broader population. A lot of people in America are very frustrated. A lot of people in the poor areas feel discriminated against and left, and they want us to speak for them while having good answers. So I think this is about competence, and it's about growth.
The concern about suppressing free speech reflects a broader issue with heavy-handed regulation. Overreach not only stifles innovation, but also erodes trust, which is critical for societal progress.
Okay, you may have seen this. The FT was reporting today that Elon Musk has privately discussed with allies how Keir Starmer could be removed as UK Prime Minister. You've often described as an ally of Elon Musk. Has he discussed that with you?
I have a lot of friends around Keir Starmer and also around different parts of your politics. And listen, I understand why Elon and JD and others are really disappointed about some of the scandals they're seeing out of the UK. You know, a core part of how to understand a lot of this stuff around MAGA is free speech is really, really important, right? Getting to the truth versus, even if it offends people, you have to get to the truth. And so I think this scandal you guys are going through right now, it feels like something where people didn't want to offend the Pakistanis, they didn't want to offend others. And that really gets to the heart of something that really offends MAGA, is when you have something that's like conspiratorial that covers up the truth not to offend people. So I think that's why it's such a big issue for them.
And you have the free speech to make that claim. But you know that Elon Musk said things like a rape genocide apologist to a female minister that had done, clearly done a lot on this agenda. Things like that can't help.
She hadn't talked to any. It's pretty clear she hadn't talked to any of the victims, and it's pretty clear that judges who, gave white girls, let people for abusing white girls less time than people who didn't abuse white girls.
The tension between free speech and social sensitivities underscores the challenge of balancing truth with diplomacy. Prioritizing honesty, even when uncomfortable, is critical for addressing systemic problems.
I mean, there's really extraordinary things we're hearing are coming out of Britain right now, and it was hidden,
This is interesting because you're getting your information perhaps from specific sources. It's pretty clear she does speak to a lot of victims. But listen, I don't want to go down that, because you're a very interesting person, and I do want to ask you about other things, like, for example, Greenland, right? Here, people are taking the Greenland agenda, and President Trump has just tweeted a picture which includes Greenland, I think, in the Americas. And it's a bit of a joke, and he's not really going to do it. But like your grouping of tech libertarians, there is a real agenda of like Greenland could be the new world, and we could develop a society there. And
I think having a frontier is very healthy. I think Britain was a healthier society when it had a frontier and was growing. I'm a huge Anglophile and love British history. I think part of America being great is that it's growing and creating more wealth for everyone. If the people in Greenland want to be part of us, if we can use those resources better and make sure Russia and China don't get advantages in the Arctic, that sounds great to me. But you see what I'm saying? The aesthetic is very important. The core idea of being pro-growth, of building in the world,
pro-growing the physical size of the country. That's something different than economic growth. It's not the same sort of growth.
Proposing Greenland as a potential frontier blends practicality with vision, leveraging untapped resources while countering global rivals like Russia and China. This underscores the importance of thinking boldly about growth and progress.
It's a frontier mindset. It's taking new possibilities. It's creating new things.
But Joe, if everyone thought that, we just, we're talking like early 20th century. Everybody's going to be at it. It's going to be wars all over the place if that happens.
No, I think the way it works is the most competent things grow, the things that are functional grow. I think America, our poorest state, sadly, near us, Louisiana and West Virginia, are much wealthier, unfortunately, at this point per capita than Britain, because we've been run much better the last 30 years. The competent places should grow and should help create growth. And if Greenland wants a partner and be part of that, that's a functional thing for the world.
What do you think about investment in Britain?
I do. I have a lot of employees in Edinburgh. I have a lot of employees in London.
Palantir's got loads of government contracts.
Palantir has some contracts there. I'm not running Palantir anymore, but I have other companies that have hired a lot of people there as well. And listen, this is there's extraordinary talent. There's a lot of innovation there. Unfortunately, a lot of people have to leave to come to the U.S. sometimes to build things. I think it's good for Britain to encourage more of it there. But I'll tell you what, a lot of my best friends are leaving because you just changed the non-dom rules. It's very frustrating. I come over there, I see them, I invest with them. They can't live there anymore. So I think you guys are shooting yourself in the foot right now. I'll tell you that.
Isn't it fascinating how a frontier mindset can spark growth while also highlighting modern policy shortcomings? If competent places like the US continue attracting talent due to decisions like Britain's non-dom rule changes, what does that mean for fostering innovation in the UK?